A red, white, and blue logo of 3 children in profile. Children's Bureau, Building Community, Building Hope. Fostering Hope Initiative, Salem, Oregon. A train passes. Brick storefronts line an empty street. Jim Seymour, Executive Director, Catholic Community Services.
Well, we believe here in Oregon that at least 50% of the kids that are currently in foster care would never have had to enter foster care at all if we would have been able to support their families to be able to protect and nurture them in meaningful ways. Our theory of change really begins with the premise that safe, stable, nurturing relationships, that really is the key social determinant of everyone's life prospects, and that toxic stress is the thing that interferes with safe, stable, nurturing relationships. What we've got are parents that are overwhelmed by the stresses in life. And what we know about the brain architecture is that when people get overwhelmed with stress, what gets triggered is fight, flight, and freeze. If we can get the support that they need to bring the stress levels down in their lives so that executive function kicks back in, then there's this ability to express the love. There's the ability to express the caring. The key is the focus on promoting the protective factors in the home and in the neighborhood, right where people live.
A residential street.
And when we promote the protective factors, they not only mitigate the source of stress, but they also help families and children to become more resilient to stress.
A dark-haired caseworker visits a mother and her baby.
It's important to find a neighbor connector who actually lives in the neighborhood, because there's an automatic trust, I think, that happens when you can knock on a door and say, hello, I live in this neighborhood, and I'm really interested in making it a great place to live and a great place to raise kids.
The time that you wanted a GED, you can just let me know, because I do know of different programs.
The Neighbor Connector begins by identifying families and individuals who are strong in the neighborhood and bringing them together, but then also reaches out into those neighborhoods to find the parents who are isolated.
I think a huge thing is neighbors. And
Esmeralda Rios, Neighborhood Connection, Woodburn.
Is getting to know your neighbors, getting to understand that they might be going through the same thing. How is it that you guys can be helping each other?
Thank you so much, Gwenny.
Okay, bye-bye. At Washington Elementary School neighborhood, 97% are from Hispanic Latino background, and being second language learners creates a lot of different barriers and creates a lot of different stresses in the family.
Esmeralda Rios speaks to a group in Spanish. We want to improve the lives of our children, of our community. And how are we going to do it? By getting together every month and talking about issues and things we can do to improve our home and our community.
And it's out of the community cafe meeting that people from the neighborhood make decisions about how they want to build protective factors into that neighborhood.
We are doing a marriage class because you all decided that you wanted this class because children are affected when their parents fight in the home. Another caseworker speaks. All couples have conflicts. The question is, how do we manage these differences? A parent. I don't like being told to do what I already know I have to do, or to be talked to like a child.
All of a sudden, families are feeling like, oh, I'm not just coming to the community cafe because I need something. I'm coming to the community cafe because I'm a member of this community and I want this to be a great community.
A caseworker. Why are you here today? A parent. First of all, for our children who are in this school. I think it's a big support to come to these meetings. Mateo Courtney, Assistant Principal, Washington Elementary School.
Kinder ready. We've changed through working with Fostering Hope. In connecting with our parents, we're able to start that relationship a year, 2, 3 years sooner. So now we're able to prepare much earlier on in the process. Instead of wishing we would have had this conversation 3 years ago, we're having it today.
A caseworker. I read to my child every night for half an hour. Pass the yarn 5 times. Mothers pass yarn in a circle, creating a pattern. I read to my child from time to time, 2 passes. What is it that most impacts them? And that they learn? A mother, that the first 3 years are when children learn most, when their brains form and develop most. Those first 3 years are important. Jim Seymour.
When we support parents to protect and nurture their own children, it takes the stress off the child welfare system, it takes the stress off of the schools, and it takes the stress off of the healthcare system. Over the last 7 years, we've reduced the number of children in foster care in Marion County from 1,100 to the last count I saw it was 580. So we know this works. And then when we find that there is a reduction in things like foster care rates, to be able to take the part of the money that isn't spent on foster care and reinvest it in scaling up the positive. I believe that that kind of a system would create a slow but steady balance of the money being spent on promoting positive development and strengthening families, and still have the money that we need to be able to provide the treatment services for those who need treatment services. We really do get what we pay for. And so if we pay for foster care, we will get foster care. And if we can learn to
For more information and to share this film, go to Child Welfare Information Gateway, www.childwelfare.gov/topics/preventing. A list of credits follows, including special thanks to the Fostering Hope Initiative, Catholic Community Services of the Mid-Willamette Valley and Central Coast, Oregon. This film was created under contract number HHSP 233-200-95648-WC, funded by the Children's Bureau, Administration for Children and Families, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Its content does not necessarily reflect the views of the Children's Bureau.